Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. Today we'll be creating this rainbow fondant ruffle cake filled with peanut M&Ms. I have a 7-inch cake that's already been stacked and crumb coated. I'm going on with a final layer of frosting in white buttercream. You can use ganache and then cover your cake in fondant, but there were just 2 extra steps that you don't really need to take. These ruffles aren't very heavy, so you can apply them onto buttercream without any issues. Once your whole cake is covered, take a frosting scraper, smooth at the sides, and fill in any spaces as you go. When you're happy with the finish, grab a large spatula and then bring the lip of frosting towards the middle and refrigerate your cake till the frosting has set. Mine takes about 20 minutes or so. Follow the same steps again with a 4-inch top tier. There is a 4-inch cake board underneath this. Smooth it out and then pop it into the freezer this time for about 20 minutes or so. Into the bottom tier we're going to add 3 bubble tea straws. You could add 4 instead if you like in a square, but I'm just adding 3 in a triangle formation. Press it right into the bottom, give it a wriggle, and then when you pull it up you can cut right where that line of frosting is. Press them back into the cake and then release your 4-inch from the temporary cake board. I like to run a really thin spatula right underneath, and then when it's released, I take my regular size spatula and arrange it onto my cake right in the middle. Stick the 2 together with a little bit of buttercream. I don't take out the spatula immediately. I like to go around and just make sure that it's centered. That way you can still use a spatula to move it around and there's less mess on the frosting. When you're happy with the position, give it a good press down at the top to make sure it's all secure, and then take your fondant in all of the colors, and I've used cornstarch to make sure that it doesn't stick to my countertop, rolling it out to about 1 millimeter in thickness, so you want it to be pretty thin. Cut down strips that are about 1 inch or so in thickness, and using a ball tool and a floral sponge pad, create the ruffles at the very top. So basically on the sponge and half on the fondant as you roll it in a circular motion, and also roll it back and forth left to right to help those ruffles bunch up. From here you can stick it onto your cake with a little bit of water, just kind of brush that on. And I had a little bit protruding up the top, about 1/2 centimeter or so. Connect the next row and then cut it where it meets with where the previous row ended. If you want to, you can give them a bit of a pinch at the top to reinforce that ruffle. Apply a bit of water, half on the cake and half on the fondant, and then go on with your next layer, starting just slightly below and repeating. I'm being mindful to start and stop in the same spot every time. This will then become the back of our cake, and that way the front is seamless and you can't tell where the levels of the fondant start and finish. I went for 3 layers of each color for the top cake and then 3 layers of each color for the bottom cake again. So we have red, orange, yellow, and then green, blue, purple at the base. You can use the end of your brush to kind of feed it through and pinch. That way they're just a little bit more lively looking and not so flat. If you're enjoying these tutorials, feel free to subscribe. We do upload a new cake decorating video every week. As you reach the very base of the cake, you want to take your last strip of fondant and cut it so that it's much shorter, like half the height of the previous row, and that way it looks a bit more seamless. You want to make sure that it lines up with the very base of the cake and that it's touching, and that way it hides the seam completely. Start again on the base tier and just following the same steps again. You want to roll these out a little bit longer so that they all meet up in the same section at the back. You'll notice again that the very last layer is shorter, and that way it just looks a little bit more seamless. Let it rest until you're ready to decorate with your M&Ms. So these are the peanut scented M&Ms, and I'm just kind of adding them all at the top. I've taken out the contents of the bag and singled out the colors. That way I can arrange them a little bit more strategically, making sure that wherever you look on the cake, the colors are evenly distributed. As a finishing touch and optional, you can take a handheld steamer and just steam the fondant to get rid of any excess cornstarch and to really help to make those colors pop and be a little bit more vibrant. And that's it. That is how you create a fondant rainbow ruffle cake with M&Ms. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and give it a go. And if you do recreate it, I would love to see how yours turns out. Hashtag Rosie's Dessert Spot so I can check it out. Thank you again so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more tutorials, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.